Check out this video from FTFE's live where King Nico debated against Globey McGlobeface, and King Nico got absolutely owned through the whole entire thing. But this particular one, King Nico claimed that a Chinook helicopter went out over top of the Gulf of America / Gulf of Mexico, depends what you want to say, and dropped off the Dragon capsule, Crew 9 Dragon capsule, into the ocean for them to go out and recover it, because he thinks that SpaceX and all the Dragon crew missions are all fake. So just check this out and watch as he gets absolutely torn to shreds. And I throw some commentary in there and help just kind of rip it apart on my own channel. Watch this and see. This is a little clips from my live I did on Wednesday.
9 months, what a fish story, right? So there is a flight tracker going around with a plane leaving the base at NASA. It's taken off from the mainland. It goes out into the ocean, and that's where it drops them into the ocean and then flies back to the base. And that can be found on the flight tracker. So I don't have that, but it's going around. I'm just trying to find it, but
it's always so close to having it, but not.
No, I'm sure you've seen it.
I've not seen that. I've not seen that fake piece of information you just lied about.
It's not fake. So if I show you, find that video now.
Yeah, please do. I want to watch it. I love watching these things live.
So you're telling me that you believe that
I love watching these things live.
So you're telling me that you believe that these two characters were stuck in space for 9 months and just
they weren't stuck, but yes, they were in space.
Oh, okay. So
absolutely.
Flight tracker. Someone please send it to me.
And your proof is there's a flight tracker that shows video of them being dropped into the water.
They were. It was a Chinook helicopter. That took off that capsule, dropped it off in the sky, flew back to the NASA base.
Chinook.
Yeah, a Chinook.
Okay.
Okay,
I want to see it. I love it. We got to see this. This is fantastic.
So, but please try and bring up some more points quickly while I try and locate this video.
Sure.
Probably on the X. I just don't use X too much.
Sorry. Hold
on.
I looked up NASA on the flight tracker. I looked up their on the flight tracker. I'm on Flight Radar 24. You can type in NASA, and I typed in NASA airline. So the airline is NASA, and it says show fleet. So I showed fleet. A Boeing CH-47. So maybe was I wrong on that? Let's see. This is Boeing CH-47. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe they do actually have one. I don't think NASA even has one. So BH-47 Boeing. No, that's a 777. No, that's definitely not one there. No, that's a Lockheed. Columbia 300. No. No. Nope. Let's see, Chinook would be considered a CH-47, Boeing CH-47. Double checking. It's kind of late here, so excuse me, my brain starts rocking a little bit. Nope. That is an Eagle. That's a Hornet. That's a 18B Hornet. Nope. Gulfstream. GLF4. Gulfstream. Nope. GLF5. Gulfstream. P3. Lockheed. Nope. It's not looking like they have one. It doesn't list they having a Chinook, and Chinook's like not even a new secret helicopter. They've been around. I see them fly around once in a while. So these are definitely not Chinooks. Lockheed ER2, no, that's definitely not it. And we have this guy here. Well, I don't even see a Chinook being listed in this fleet. This is a radar that tracks all flights going over the United States. There we are. So, unless somebody can provide me evidence to say that NASA has a Chinook, he already has evidence that NASA owns a CH-47 Chinook. I don't see it. Wikipedia. Okay. Let's check out Wiki. Let's try one more time. So here's Wikipedia. NASA lists the aircraft that they own. So they own a Super Guppy T-14 Airbus H-135 Beechcraft, Mentor Beechcraft B-200 Sirius Columbia, DHC-6 Twin Otter, Falcon, Gulfstream, Lockheed, Hercules, Orion, Lockheed ER-02, Martin WB-4 Canterbury, Douglas F-15 Eagle, and McDonnell's Douglas FA-18 Hornet, and their top T-38 Talon. So they have, that is the current aircraft that they have and where they're stationed at. So they don't even list a Chinook. There's no list of a Chinook helicopter being owned by NASA in their fleet. There's a Eurocopter. Now, just do us a favor, pay attention to this. This is a Eurocopter, right? So this is a new Airbus H-135 T3 at the Kennedy Space Center, September 3rd, 2020. The second H-135 helicopter also was delivered September 30th. And they have a third one that arrived early 2021. The three H-135 helicopters replaced the Bell Huey 2 security aircraft in service now. So, replaced some. Now look at the size of that. Okay. And I just want you to kind of keep that in mind. This will be relevant later on in the stream, not too far. Okay? Trust me on this. It will be relevant.
Dragon.
I'm gonna mute this shit. Okay.
Crew 9, return to Earth, ridiculous.
Where is my? Here they are.
I'll find it.
I want you.
So quickly, Craig, all the people watching right now, how many viewers you got? And you're telling me that everyone is buying that fish story of those two astronauts that were dropped into the ocean after being stuck in space?
Would you like me to put up would you like me to put up a poll to see if everyone believes?
It sounds like we need a poll.
Yeah, I can bring up the video quickly. I had it ready. So I do have one video of it ready, so everyone knows in reference what we're watching. Where is the video? Oh, I got Horizon Lines to show. Did I share it? Right here.
Can I? You guys see this?
Yes, we do see it.
So what you guys are showing the world is your resilience.
You see this TikTok short?
Oh, hold on a second. I'm trying to find
I think I'm only sharing my one screen. Yeah, I'm only sharing one screen. Hold on.
Yeah, we're just seeing YouTube.
Yeah, it's here. I'll just share my whole screen.
All right, can you see any of my screen now? Sorry, I got it up.
Oh, well, you told me to share something while you were looking.
Right, we do have a poll up, everybody. Make sure you vote in the poll. Do you believe the astronauts were stuck in space? Yes or no?
So, Nico, do you know what this is we're looking at?
Sorry, okay, I'm going to pause something. You stop my screen. You're sharing something? Okay, let me see what you got.
Yes, Globey is currently sharing. You never shared, Nico.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at that Twitter video. Go ahead.
You know what we're looking at here?
No, I don't see anything.
You don't see anything?
No.
Does anybody else see anything?
Yep, we all
see
it.
I'm sharing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Only Nico doesn't see it, apparently.
I don't see anything. I accidentally shared my screen at the same time, so I must have glitched it out or something.
Can you stop sharing?
Yeah, I did. I stopped a while ago.
I'll reshare. Let's see. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that works.
This is a navigational computer, Nico. What's inside that little thing there?
Yeah, a globe ball. Yeah, I see it.
This is before they had computers, so that's why there's a physical globe inside of it. But this is what they're using to navigate. Isn't that cool? Guess what's not in there? A little flat, this spinning around. So no, we don't use this to navigate. We don't use this to flight plan. silly talk. Anyway, you're looking for that video. I don't want to distract you.
I've heard many pilots say they don't use that and fly by a flat map, so I need this video.
I think it's a sin to lie, Nico. Just saying.
No lies here. NASA flight tracker.
100%.
Where is it? Is this the video?
No pilot says they.
We need to talk. This is a flight tracker, and as you
see, I found it.
The NASA helicopter approach.
Okay, so how am I going to play this on my screen quickly?
Can't share. It's on your computer.
Let me just copy the link.
To be clear with the poll, everyone, I don't mean do you believe that they were stuck in space, like technically, but just do you believe that whole thing happened? You know, do you believe space is real? Do you believe the astronauts were up there and then came down?
Okay, so am I able to share the screen again? I'm ready.
Yes, go ahead.
I stopped, so go ahead.
So we're going to be looking at what I just described as the tracker. I think it's explained in the video. Are you going to be able to hear the audio too?
That depends if you've got it set up.
Friends, we need to talk.
Yes,
this is a flight tracker, and as you will see, the NASA helicopter approaches from the right. There's a plane doing mysterious circles, and watch what happens here. The NASA helicopter circles round, and then it goes back again. What do we think?
Because I'm starting to think something is seriously suspicious about this. Look how fake that looks. I mean, that looks like a cheap computer game. Look at it.
Okay, my friends, we need to talk.
Okay, so are we? I'm going to need a little more info than that. What's the timing of this?
When the Dragon Crew 9 was returning to Earth. So people were watching the tracker at the same time. You can see the NASA Chinook leaving the mainland, coming out to an area in the ocean, which is where they picked up the astronauts. There was another plane circling above, and then as the Chinook came in, dropped them off.
Well, as already proved, NASA doesn't even own a Chinook helicopter. They don't have one in their fleet. So that's already debunked there. So the claim that it's a NASA Chinook is false. I was trying to see if I can find a flight tracker, but I am a couple days out from being able to do that. Unless I sign up for the 7-day trial. I don't see the point in doing 7 days of playback history. Yeah, I'm going to go back 7 days, and when that landed on the 18th of March, and so I'm 2 days out from being able to bring that up. I don't see the point at this moment in time.
Off and went back, then that plane
Just FYI, a little foreshadowing. Globey debunks all this.
picked them up and took off. So this is from the flight tracker, which is quite alarming, and I'd like some more explanation because I don't see space being involved here. So those astronauts came from somewhere, where's that, Miami, not space.
So you said you had video of them on the helicopter being dropped off, but what you really meant was you saw an animation of a helicopter going and spinning around.
Oh, now the flight tracker is an animation. So you tried to show me the flight tracker of flight paths going around the world, but now that too is just
I'm just asking for proof there were astronauts being dropped off on that helicopter.
Well, NASA's helicopters right there, coming out from their base and dropping them right there. So
how do you know they were dropping people off, Nico? The video told you so?
I know.
What do you mean you know? You've assumed that whole conspiracy based on a helicopter spinning around. How do you know it wasn't picking them up at that moment? Was it picking them up at that moment?
Video. I knew before the flight tracker of the video showing that NASA was up to its usual tricks. So I just had to hear the story and be like, that's nonsense. That's ridiculous.
But you can admit you've assumed things there. You've assumed things there, right?
Everyone's calling it a fish story. Everyone's saying the footage looks like a cheap computer game.
More feelings.
So that's it. You have no explanation for that. It's just
I don't need to explain something that you've conspirized in your head. Okay, you have yet to prove. If you showed me secret video of them dropping astronauts off from a helicopter, I'd have to then explain that. Well, you've invented this story, and now you're asking me to explain your invented story. You see how odd that is?
Nico claims that this was dropped off by a Chinook helicopter. So what we have here is NASA's SpaceX Crew 9 re-entry. This was done on the 8 days ago, so like I said, it's a couple days out from showing flight tracker. This is sped up 1.5 times because it's done. So here we are.
We're about 2 minutes away from deployment of those drogue parachutes. Now the heat shield is continuing to work to slow the vehicle down. That entry period, the Dragon spacecraft went from orbital velocity about 17,500 miles per hour down to about 350 miles per hour. So that really gives you a sense of why that plasma builds up on the exterior of the capsule, thanks to the heat shield and the work that it does. Those drogue parachutes will slow.
So as we mentioned, weather is something we're constantly looking at, making the final call to proceed about 2.5 hours before the crew undocks. So for the Crew 9, to bring you the best possible views of our astronauts' homecoming.
Yeah, as I mentioned
This is the
earlier,
people
this
in the
deorbit burn
Dragon
is the last
capsule,
time that we
right?
will utilize our 4 forward Draco thrusters,
And you look how,
basically
like,
meaning at the top of the
everything's
Dragon
kinda
capsule.
floating
Dragon Freedom
there,
has not
like
yet
the hands
entered
are
the Earth's
floating.
atmosphere. This deorbit burn is what will line the vehicle up and put it on its final trajectory to the landing site right off the coast of Tallahassee,
You look
Florida.
at these straps here.
So basically, it is the last burn that the Dragon spacecraft
straps are
executes and
floating
is what
up
really locks it in for
because they're
that
still
precise landing.
in,
As you can see on your
and
screen
they're
right now,
still in
Nick,
kind
Sunny,
of
Butch,
free
and
fall.
Alexander are using their screens to keep
Low
tabs on the burn
0G,
duration,
which is why,
the
like,
Draco
their hands
firings,
are
and
saying
trajectory
this,
details such
it's
as entry
basically
angle,
actually
spacecraft
float,
perigee, and how much distance remains
that's why
until
the hands
deorbit burn termination.
like this.
As I mentioned earlier,
Straps are
Dragon is
floating
flying
up.
itself. So all the crew has to do is stay strapped into their seats and keep tabs on things. Although I must say,
And,
if
you
I
know,
had one of those window
a lot of
seats,
times,
it would be pretty difficult to restrain myself.
So Flurf's claim that like they're using like basic stuff like the inside Dragon capsule is like old school, like when they the Apollo missions. Does this look like the Apollo missions here? Check that out. These are all touch screens, and it's really quite sophisticated. And because of all this stuff, is why we're with Artemis. We're having to test things because we have so much more electronics, a lot more systems and stuff, obviously safety compared to the Apollo missions. That when they sent Apollo Artemis 1 and 2 up, like number 2 was to have like the dummies in, and they're testing for like systems like this to make sure that it worked fine, worked perfectly, going through the Van Allen radiation belts, that the radiation that is all that all the shielding holds up worked fine, and it all worked absolutely perfectly, and then return back. So Artemis 3, they're going to probably send people up. Not going to land on the moon, but they will go out to the moon and come back and test everything from there. Still dangerous.
Now, with Nick, Sunny, Butch, and Alexander ready to deorbit and splash down back on Earth, they will be heading to one of 8 targeted sites supported by SpaceX and NASA. All of these sites are located off the coast of Florida, either in the Gulf of America or the Atlantic Ocean. Spreading the supported sites across multiple locations helps maximize the return opportunities for this mission and future crews, lowering the chance that we'll have to wave off due to bad weather. For those of you following along, you'll know that today's splashdown marks our final Dragon recovery on the East Coast. After 6 great years of successful recovery operations off the East Coast, we'll be moving all the Dragon recovery operations back to the West Coast.
This is them
And as always, NASA and SpaceX jointly select our splashdown location. And for today, the prime.
You can see all their all the data there, all their telemetry data, and everything up on here using the globe for the flight. Look at that.
Recovery site is off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. The selection process works with a lot of different variables, including the space station's orbital trajectory or path that it follows, what landing sites are available and have favorable weather, how much free flight capability Dragon has for the trip home, and the sleep schedules for the returning crew members, as well as
back to planet Earth.
Okay, so further back.
Great news there from
here,
Commander Nick Hague reporting back.
Healthy flight computer. Expect automated
chute
deployment.
The shield. I want you to look and see here. You can see a helicopter holding this thing up as they come
makes its way home. Next event coming up will be deployment of the drogue parachutes. This occurs around
Remember,
15,000 feet.
Nico claimed
GPS has converged. Expect nominal altitude for drogue chute deployment.
Remember, Nico claimed that this was being dropped off by a Chinook helicopter, one that NASA doesn't own. He can prove that it owns.
Now, the heat shield is continuing to work to slow the vehicle down. That entry period, the Dragon spacecraft went from orbital velocity about 17,500 miles per hour down to about 350 miles per hour. So that really gives you a sense of why that plasma builds up on the exterior of the capsule, thanks to the heat shield and the work that it does. Those drogue parachutes will slow it down from 350 to about 119 miles per hour. We can see
15 kilometers. Brace for drogue window.
We can see seat rotation happening inside the capsule. Great to get those first views of our crew members. Once again, the capsule is going about 350 miles per hour when the drogues are deployed. Those drogue parachutes that we manufacture here in-house are going to slow the spacecraft down to 119 miles per hour. And that is when we will see the main parachutes deploy, and that occurs about 6,000 feet above the ocean's surface.
And we are expecting drogue deployment at 2:53 p.m. Pacific, so we should see it any second now. And there you are getting a great view of Crew 9 inside Dragon Freedom as it returns back to Earth.
Anything holding this thing up?
This view coming from the WB-57 high altitude plane. And there you see it on your screen, drogue deployment. Drogue descent rate nominal.
You can hear the crowd here. The crowd here very excited as Dragon Freedom continues to make its way back to planet Earth.
Next up, we'll stand by for the main deployment of the parachutes. The mains are quite a bit larger. You'll be able to notice the difference on your screen once they deploy, and they continue to ensure that the Dragon spacecraft slows down even further. As we mentioned, Freedom will be traveling 16 miles per hour when it splashes down off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida, here at 2:57 p.m. Pacific time this afternoon. And there we go.
We have visual on 4 healthy mains.
That view was from inside.
Freedom copy.
That view was from inside one of the buckets where the parachutes are located. So we see a great view there of the reefing on those parachutes. And as those main parachutes begin to inflate fully,
I think a helicopter would have dropped at this, but look how fast this thing's still moving. It's still going down. Now it's going down even more.
We'll start to hear Commander Nick Hague.
Copy 1000.
As we heard right there, Commander Nick Hague will be calling out the altitude of the Dragon capsule from here on out. Landing in water is simpler and provides more margin against
now,
the parachute.
question is, who do you think is taking the video? Who do you think is taking the video? The video camera. Where do you think the video camera is coming from?
A live view
I give you can you give you like a bit of a clue? Could it be a fucking helicopter? The one that NASA, you know, the one that showed up on the flight radar? Could it be that's where, you know, like this is obviously from, like,
this is really such an incredible shot.
like this, that's probably a drone shot or so. Now if you look here, you can see that nothing here is floating anymore. All of it's like down, because now they're gravity. See all these are all hanging down now. Now they're there, so they can put the hands and just hold on to something. Yeah.
400 meters.
See here, look at that. It's still way up there. It's just
It's a
falling
gorgeous
for
bluebird
ages.
day here that we have for the splashdown of Crew 9.
And the question is, who do you think has got some of the, where do you think got these shots? So this shot here could be from a drone, but the other one, guess where that one, the higher up one, you know, where it wasn't like, it was a lot further up. Guess what? It probably could be, I don't know, from a fucking helicopter with a camera crew in it, you know, the guy with the camera. This is one from a lower down.
And we're going to stand by for splashdown located
This
in
is
the Gulf of America off the coast of
probably a
Tallahassee.
drone or something like that they have here. Yeah, it's quite low. It's going to be a helicopter.
And splashdown. Crew 9 back on Earth.
So I think, I don't know.
And SpaceX Freedom, splashdown. Good main release.
Copy splashdown. We see main chutes cut.
So you
Nick,
see
Alex,
the
Butch, Sunny, on behalf of SpaceX.
see the boats
welcome
and
home.
stuff heading this way, right? They're coming, heading out, so they're coming secure everything.
An amazing water ride. I see a capsule full of grins ear to ear.
And look how burnt that is up. That's gone through some freaking hellfire. That right? That's gone through some
As you can
shit.
see on your screen, we have visual confirmation of splashdown. Dragon Freedom has returned home, and NASA astronauts.
System safety verifications are in progress. We'll report back when recovery personnel are en route.
I understand. And we're in section 2 of 4.800 landing response. And looking for your words on if it is necessary.
In the distance, we can see the recovery vessel making its way.
Copy, you're in section 2 for the environmental assessment in 4.800. That is not necessary today.
Understand. Raise and button.
So we will continue to have communications between the Corps and Nick Hague, the commander of Crew Dragon Freedom, which just splashed down 2 minutes ago off the coast of Tallahassee, Florida. Dragon Freedom has returned home with NASA astronauts Nick Hague, Sunny Williams, Butch Wilmore, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gorbunoff. They're back on Earth after approximately 17 hours of a return journey from space.
The SpaceX recovery ship and team have been waiting for Dragon's splashdown, and they will now make their way to the splashdown location. The teams have been ready and waiting about 3 nautical miles away, so it's going to take them about 30 minutes or so to make their way to...
SpaceX Freedom, first server in stable 1.
Copy, stable 1. We see the same.
It's going to take about 30 minutes for the recovery team to make their way over to Nick, Sunny.
All right, so I'm going to pass that a little bit there real quick.
They're also checking to make sure that any residuals from the pyros are safe.
Now, if you are just joining us, the mission has gone smoothly so far. Dragon successfully...
Stand by for PMC with SpaceX flight search.
The question is, who do you think is also controlling the drone? Could it have been like a helicopter further up, and they had a drone down, in a lot closer? It's got to be within a certain
prevent wind from
distance.
pulling the spacecraft. Dragon automatically safes any pyrotechnics that may still be present on the vehicle and may automatically perform additional minor system reconfigurations. The astronauts will remain seated and in their suits at this point, but the onboard air conditioning keeps things temperature controlled inside the spacecraft so the crew remains comfortable, and the communication systems.
Freedom, SpaceX, contract.
Oh, look at this. There's another high-up shot. Where did you get that from? Could be a drone. Could be a helicopter.
Copy that, Freedom. Have you loud and clear as well. And
oh, look at that.
No longer private.
Holy.
As we saw there on the screen,
maybe that's why there's a helicopter out there flying around and around.
Quickly moved into
could it be that, you know, safety? Could it be
safety inspection?
Camera?
As we saw, they do this.
Oh, look at this. Really
I got you loud and clear, David. It's so great to hear you.
And 63 degrees outside right now with clear skies. Live. Perform another series of safety checks as final precautionary measures just to make sure there are no hypergolic vapors present before opening that side hatch. And then once that side hatch of the spacecraft is open, the crew will be assisted out of the capsule one by one from NASA and SpaceX.
Freedom, SpaceX, contract.
Freedom, SpaceX.
To the recovery vessel, we will see the hydraulic arm.
I'm just going to skip some of this because, you know, it's a long operation. Now, this is, like I said, 2-hour, 14-minute video. People can watch it if they like.
We did hear that report out from the commander, Nick Hague, following splashdown that there were four smiles as far as he could see.
Yeah, capsule full of grins. Now, generally speaking,
and there we do see Crew 9, some happy waves, smiles all around, back on Earth.
Non-stop shot. There's 4 people inside that thing. Holy crap. Hey, look at that.
Generally speaking, we
I know
have
helicopters
the individuals in the 2 center
dropping
seats of the spacecraft exit first.
I will agree that there is a helicopter there. I found it.
And it's a NASA helicopter, correct? Like no one added in that NASA logo afterwards? That NASA logo just appears on the tracker? Is that how it works?
What? No, it's a real flight. It's a real helicopter. Trying to find this thing. So if you look at it, this is where they landed. And I want to see what this was because this was the flight right here. Okay. It's so if anybody wants to go look it up, you got to look for NASA 442 on FlightAware, and you'll find a whole bunch of flights of that helicopter. Now that helicopter is a Eurocopter EC-635 twin turboshaft. Now, here's the problem. That is this. That's not a Chinook. That's a single rotor aircraft, not a Chinook. Oh. It's capable of carrying 3,000 pounds above its own weight. So its takeoff weight's about 8,000 pounds. And the crew capsule weighs 17,000 pounds. So the guy who made this video not only lied to you about...
Oh. Nico just got freaking globe smacked. Getting globe probed there, Nico.
what type of aircraft it was. And they lied to you on purpose because calling it a Chinook makes it more plausible that it would be able to lift such a large thing and bring it out there. So lie number 1.
As I said, NASA doesn't own a Chinook in their fleet.
So wait, where does it say that it's not a Chinook? Where does it say that it's the...
Oh, right here. You see it. You see it right in this video, actually. You see this picture? That's it. And it says EC-35. And if you look up on FlightAware, which I went to, where he got that video from, this is it right here. Tuesday, here's the flight.
Okay, and what about
this one right here, see?
Okay.
Now, so and it tells you right here, the aircraft type is an Eurocopter EC-635.
Okay, now tell us what plane was circling there that the helicopter flew out to meet in that location. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. First point was you said the helicopter brought the capsule out with the astronauts on it.
Well, it had something to do with it, yeah.
Physically impossible. Physically impossible.
If that was...
And now Nico's trying to he's trying to move the goalpost. Yeah.
Was the helicopter used, and you're saying it can't carry that weight, then obviously the capsule was being carried by the plane circling above that area before.
Obviously, your claim is now changed to it's the plane carrying it.
Well, you're not. You can't concede that there's some suspicious activity going on here between.
No. I think if you're if astronauts are landing in a capsule out at sea, I think NASA is absolutely going to have planes and especially helicopters flying over the area, 100%, as a safety precaution, as a you know, just maybe monitoring the situation. There's absolutely going to be aircraft over that area. Yeah. Now, what was this plane? This plane was
circling.
It says WB-57.
What's the DNAs? Why does it say, oh, what's all the not available stuff there?
I don't know. Let's see what this tells us.
Yeah. See? Oh, we've run into a little glitch. You don't want to know
that's the aircraft type. It's a WB-57. It's a high altitude research aircraft, right here.
WB-57, which is it's a Martin WB Canberra, and as you can see, it's definitely not carrying anything to do with the That's definitely not going to carry any kind of a massive, huge pod with people in it. It's not any kind of transport. This was the other one that was flying out there, as well as this guy here. That's the Eurocopter. Twin rotor. We've got that guy that was out there. We have that guy that's out there. So yeah, ain't nothing carrying that Dragon capsule. None of these two. Sorry, Nico is been debunked. That's it. It's done. Over. He's been proven to be telling lies once again. He's been lying this whole debate.
Particularly used for scientific missions, particularly those requiring observation.
Ooh, that's weird. Didn't I just say that?
And in fact,
up to 8,000 pounds of scientific equipment. So again, it's not capable of carrying a 17,000-pound space capsule with astronauts in it out to a location to pretend it's happening, to fake the whole world, just to deceive you sodomites.
You're telling me they can't add some coding into the system?
I don't operate in the you're telling me. I don't do the you're telling me thing.
Same way you can change a bit on a car to change its identity from a Honda Civic to a Bang. They can't change the identity.
So now it was really some sort of plane that could carry it. It was labeled 100%. Wrong. Got it.
We've seen it before. We've seen planes that carry
to justify your conspiracy is all you'll ever have, Nico. Conspiracies to justify your conspiracies. Right, so as long as you admit this original video is incorrect, this video here was 100% incorrect.
Clearly, then the identities of the plane and the helicopter have been manipulated and changed.
So now we have to change this video to say it's not really this, it's this, but with planes that are not represented here. They fake the planes and the helicopters. So you've moved it now. You've moved.
Yeah, and as I pointed out before, NASA doesn't have a Chinook, and I don't even think. Well, they have a plane that they have one. I think one heavy duty one that might carry the maybe. I think I look at the only plane that NASA could probably have that could even carry that capsule would be they call it the Aerospace Line Super Guppy. Looks like that there. Now the thing about it is, if you want to load stuff in it, you have to open the whole front end up like this, and that's where your cockpit stuff is in there to open it up to get stuff in it. So you're not dropping anything out of this on the fly. Like, it's just, that is not going to happen whatsoever. I don't give a shit who you think you are. That's not happening in flight, right? You can see here, this whole front end here has to come off. Has to open up, swing out, get anything in and out of it, right? It's a big plane for transporting like stuff like that, but you're not flying it here, and then you gotta try to swing this open and then fly this thing, try to drop something out the front of it while in flight. Like, if Nico thinks that, he's talking shit. Obviously the back, you're not dropping anything out of that. So yeah, you look kind of like the beluga, to be honest, flying beluga. So that's what they have, that maybe can carry something like that, but you're you're definitely not crazy ass plane, isn't it? You're definitely not dropping anything out of that on the fly, not even freaking close. And that thing's in Edwards. I don't even think it's even at I don't even think this is stationary anyway. The Super Guppy's at Johnson Space Center. Where is Johnson Space Center? I'm not American. I don't know this crap. Oh, it's in Houston, Texas. Yeah, okay, but still, yeah, that ain't doing it. So, yeah, can't use that because we're gonna have options here real fast.
Moved the conspiracy from it was the helicopter to it was the plane, which is still the plane, but they're lying about what type of plane it is.
There you go. You're actually getting it now. So
oh my God, he's not agreeing.
Nico doesn't understand sarcasm whatsoever. Too thick or something.
With you, Nico. Oh my.
He's agreeing. I'm impressed. Thank you.
If I had goalposts in this room, I would chuck them through my fucking window, Nico.
Don't defenestrate your goalposts.
That's true.
So yeah, there you are. So Nico got absolutely freaking devastated in this debate. He couldn't answer anything that Globey brought up about flight paths in the northern compared to the southern hemisphere. He couldn't answer anything about how the curvature, when he showed stuff with the lenses, we showed a rectilinear lens. Nico tried to obfuscate on that, and many other things. Nico got owned and this got proper globe probed. And after all that, after Nico took a proper reaming out by Globey McGlobeface, he accepted a challenge with Craig McToon, who's a 42-year-old veteran who's got a bum leg, to a push-up contest. Now, Nico's in his late 20s. Craig's in his about early to maybe mid-40s. So let's see who wins this. Is it Craig from FTFE, or is it King Nico, who looks like he always dresses like he's in the army and in his late 20s? You know, odds are, should be Nico, shouldn't it? I mean, Nico looks like he's in okay shape. But let's see who wins.
Early sissy push-ups, or what are we doing?
Wait, can you see me? Yeah, let me turn the camera this way. There we go. All right, let's just get it down a bit more. Oh, the table's in the way. That's fine. Okay, whatever. You can still see me. I'm right here.
You have to wait till he's done.
All right, wait. I have to wait. Is he going?
I can't count. We can't all count. He's at 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 27, 28, 29, 30.
All right, I did 30.
30. I think I counted right. 30.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. There's your target, Nico.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Too close to that thing. Can't bend my elbows. All right. I'm ready.
How many did he do in one set?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Slowing down. 21. 21. 21. We got
I
you.
did 30.
I don't know if the brakes count. Brakes don't count.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm good.
Wait, I won. I did 30. Wait.
Oh, man.
And Nico takes that.
Lost the debate and the push-up challenge.
No, I won the debate.
No, Nico completely lost that debate, and he lost the push-up challenge to a disabled 40-year-old man. Wow, Nico, you're just taking the L's like all over the place. Nico's never won a single debate, and now he's just lost a push-up challenge to a mid-40s crippled man. Nico, just give up where you can, all right? All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me for more videos, comment down below, hit the bell so you can see when I put more videos up, and I will see you soon. Thanks for watching. Stay curious. Ah, yes, the good stuff. Always sweeten my coffee with the tears of Flirfs.